Well, good evening and welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast here on Strong Island Entertainment. You can catch us on the Root app. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on Spotify. You can catch us on YouTube.
You can catch us peeking in your living room window.
You can catch us on your Roku or your Fire Stick, which is got a little penicillin, clear that right up. And let's say hello to the boys. We got Mike Grief.
Hey, what's happening, man?
With his R. Crumb backdrop.
That's right, R. Crumb, man. Great. This is what is in my mind most of the time. This is what's happening. You can't see the little guy hiding. Where is he? He's there. There he is. There's the little guy.
And we got Craig Mitchell.
How you guys doing?
That guy around town. Oh yeah, that first video wasn't really the video that I thought it was going to be.
What?
That is living proof that fireworks are dangerous.
Yes.
There's nothing like watching some good fireworks.
I think I know the video you want.
Yeah, that wasn't the one that we chose.
Oh, here it is. I got it. Here it is.
One step at a time, Bartholomew. Stairs are very treacherous. Okay, Daryl. Where's Kenneth? What up, guys? I'm coming!
No,
that's it, right?
No, that wasn't it. There was the other one. It was that. Remember we were talking? It was that other one with the guy running.
Our videos have a little. Our videos have a little bit of a theme here. Everybody or everything gets hurt.
Okay.
It's that other one, Craig.
This one won't.
Yeah, I know.
I hope nobody gets hurt in this one.
Well, let me see if I can find it.
I think it's not a hurt. This is like a Valentine's Day one. I think the guy finds his true love.
Really?
If it's the one I'm thinking of.
I don't. Okay. Which one is it? Oh, this one. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. This is the one.
And he's been special all season long, going for the state Olympic record, John Flanagan. Oh, my goodness gracious. That ball just went directly up his asshole. And I'm a little concerned because it went really far up there very quickly, which means it's a little loose down there. And we've had our questions about Flanagan. Oh my fucking God. No state Olympic record for him.
Oh, I told you it was a romantic. The guy found his true love.
Hey, I didn't even see that video. I guess I was frozen up.
You know, that's the sport I should have gone out for. Except
it was the pole vaulting one, the one we said we were going to play.
We're gonna need to edit the last line out of that.
The last line out of what?
The pole went straight up his asshole. It was kind of loose.
No.
What? What edit? Go ahead.
You can't. Well, you can't have the guy go, "Oh my fucking God!"
No.
Yes, you just did it.
Yeah, we'll have everybody in the world coming after us.
Let them come.
No.
Come.
Yeah,
I think that's
you want me to bleep that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't change the video. I just think that I just
of all the things, the guy got a pole. Fucking.
I don't care. You know me. I'm not a prude.
And John's like, we can't say fuck with the word God together. So that would be bad.
He wasn't being disparaging of God. He was asking God for some clarity.
Doesn't matter. It's the same sentence.
Come on, there is no God. If there was a God, that pole wouldn't have went up the guy's ass.
Well, I don't know how the two are not mutually exclusive.
I don't think the guy was going, oh God. I don't think.
I know exactly what he was thinking. He's like, oh my God.
I have another problem with that video also.
What? What's your problem?
Guy stealing my act.
Oh. John,
I didn't know you were a pole vaulter,
used to work
John.
on 42nd Street.
That's how I got into the Barstool business.
I didn't know you was a pole vaulter.
I thought you were talking about your old sex work.
I would tell you this story. You'll love this. So anybody that's seen my act, I have if you want, I can send you a clip. I sit on a bar stool. I'm talking. The bar stool falls, collapses. I get up, and it looks like a pole's coming out of my butt. And my dad and I invented it in the basement, and now it's been kind of ripped off by a bunch of people. You can see it on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
But for, I would say, a good 30 years, nobody ripped me off, except for this one guy. And he ripped me off, and I saw it advertised, And I was like, I can't believe this guy did this. So I
Guy
called Bill.
guy you know the guy?
I know the guy, yeah. So I called Bill J, my attorney, and he goes, "Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm calling this guy up right now." So he calls the guy up and he goes, "Hi, my name is Bill J. I'm an attorney." And the first thing the guy says is, "I didn't rip off John Ferentino's Barstool."
I can't believe you used Bill J.
Out of nowhere.
Craig, didn't you ever give him the card? We got Jacoby and Frank. Let me tell you something. We get results. Jacoby and Frank, the law firm of Jacoby and Frank.
Well, anyway,
Jacoby's
so
lawyer,
Bill called.
Frank gets things done.
Bill says to me, "I'm going to put you on a conference. Put your hand over the receiver. You can't say a word." He goes, "I'm just going to talk to this guy." So he goes like this. He goes, "So, listen, I'm calling you about John Ferentino's Barstool." And the guy goes, I didn't rip it off. I'm making it a different way." And Bill says, "Well, there's a lot of variations in stool. So you're going to have to drop off a stool sample in my office, and I'll have John drop off a stool sample, and then we'll get an expert in to come in to compare stool samples.
Check your stool."
And the guy goes, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, he goes, "I'd like to see a copy of your stool. I'd like to see an exhibit of your stool." He went on, and I'm on the other phone, like dying, right? And we get off the phone, and I go, "What did you say? You said stool to that guy like 10 times. He goes, "Hold on." He goes, "Every time I said stool, I made a little mark on my paper." He goes, I said stool to him 27 times.
Wow.
That
stool gig didn't make you much money, because I think you'd be able to afford a better internet connection if you did.
I don't know what to do, guys.
Well, I got to tell you, John, way back when I was doing a show at Chuckles, and I guess you were there for a show, whatever. So I saw your stool on stage. So I actually sat on it and I did it. And I was so disappointed it wasn't real.
Well, I will tell you that.
John used to leave his stool all over the place.
I will tell you that I opened for a punk rock band back in the 80s, and the stage was like concrete. Barstool dropped, pole didn't retract. I went flying backwards off the stool, cracked my head on the stage, and looked like a cartoon. I was seeing stars.
Well, there's another variation of it too, and I'll bet you that it's somebody who saw your thing. I've seen a lot of videos with the guys. They set up a bicycle, and they leave it to be stolen. They know somebody's going to come along and steal it, and it does the same thing. They sit on the bike, they start pedaling, and the pole. There must be a hole in the seat, and it could, but it's real. It actually goes up and up.
Yeah, they fall off the bike.
And oh my god,
the punk rock thing. When I got up dazed, the crowd went crazy.
No.
Everyone likes a good polling.
I think I'll go back and I'll superimpose a video of you actually using the stool. So as we're describing this, so people can see what we're talking about.
Everyone wants to see.
I have one on TikTok. I have one on TikTok.
Okay, well, send it to me and I'll put it in the show.
Has over 5,000 views.
Oh,
TikTok
not
bringing up 500,000 views.
TikTok is full of stool.
So I gotta be I have to be bleeping stuff, and this is going to be a busy post. I mean, all this censoring is getting.
If you don't want to bleep it, you don't have to.
I just noticed Craig's. I just noticed Craig's.
I'm already in the clear. I already
asked Strong Island thing.
I already asked for the bleep, so if you don't, it's like I'm out.
Do you like the shirt? Do you like the shirt?
Can only see the collar. Real.
No, I blew the skipper from Gilligan's Island for it. Thank you. I'm here all week.
Okay. You had to dig him up to blow him?
Well, yeah, that's the hard part.
Why would that be a Gilligan's Island shirt? It's a navy blue
the skipper
shirt.
Always wore those fucking people always
navy blue. I get it.
No,
Gilligan. No. The Gilligan, the skipper, and the professor wore the same clothes every friggin' show. They never got dirty. They never got ripped.
Well,
yeah, because the professor made a washing machine.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's going to be ripping and stuff. Like they're on an island. There's no sweat marks.
He made a washing machine out of a friggin'. How do you had a bicycle? Maybe you'd pedal the bicycle for. I mean, The guy was a genius. I mean, I have my doubts whether this thing is real or not.
Yeah, he could do all that, but he couldn't fucking patch a hole in a goddamn boat.
Or make a fucking raft or something like that to get him off
a hole in a boat.
Couldn't patch a
If
hole.
you were stuck on an island with Ginger, would you want to make it off of that island?
Yeah, I'd want to get off it.
Not me.
Not me. I'll tell you what. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Me, Marianne, and Ginger would have been. Trust me, there would have been some. I would have had
hokey pokey. Sure. There would have been some coconut hokey pokey.
There you go.
I'll tell you, I would be the skipper's little buddy. Really,
the song would change, and it would be like, say, if I was Gilligan, and it would say, "They're all stuck on the island with Gilligan and Marianne and Ginger, and the rest are dead."
The rest are dead. Might kill them.
That would be the Gilligan's Island song.
Might kill them to be alone with the movie star redhead.
Our castaways are all on the island. There's Gilligan and Ginger and Marianne, and that's it.
I saw some guy that he was a scientist, and he figured out like where that boat ended up, and he said the boat would have had to cover 573 miles in 5 hours.
Well, come on, it was a storm. It was pushed. Right. Did he account for the winds, the high winds of a storm?
Speaking of storms, you got to see this movie on Netflix. It's called Spirit. It's about it's a true story. 16-year-old girl from Australia who, from the time she was 4, said to her parents, "I want to be the most famous sailor that ever sailed." And been sailing since she was 4.
You're gonna be more popular than Popeye.
Crazy.
And
she was eating spinach every day.
Once you start this journey to circumnavigate the globe, you can't pull into any port at all.
So the globe is Jewish. It got circumnavigated.
So you have to.
That was bad.
You have to go around you have to go through all of these like crazy, it was amazing.
What are you pulling in for? Get the way.
You have to bring all the food for 280 days.
Well, you can catch some too. I mean, come on, there's fish in the ocean.
Yeah, you catch a fish here and there. But meanwhile, she had 10 days with no wind at all, where she just sat there for 10 days.
She had really good parents. She's 16 years old, and she's so by herself. You're saying she went by herself.
She went by herself. And I don't know, I've read a lot about people that circumnavigate the globe. After like 14 days, you end.
You said no wind for 10 days?
I think you said 14 days.
14? Did she try fiber?
So, I mean, my friend Scott, he sailed for 5 or 10 days at night in a Hobie Cat from Miami to Virginia Beach, him and his wife. And he said after steering the boat for like 10 hours in the dark, he said he saw a guy ride by on a bicycle and fall in the water. And he was more concerned about the guy drowning than his wife who fell overboard.
I'd say you always got to bring somebody with you. This way, if things go wrong, you always have something to eat.
Oh, yeah. That went a weird direction, man.
But anyway,
I was thinking ordinary people when the two brothers were on the boat.
She spent 289 days at sea. The boat got knocked down 7 times, which means the boat was upside down 7 times.
So she had to turn it over.
Didn't all her food go into the water?
Now, see, here's the question: were people if she was this filmed? So then somebody was following her.
She wasn't
alone.
You. Nobody's following you. They follow you on sat nav.
I think I can see your track. This was like in the 80s and 90s, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember the story.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing story. It's a great
story about child abuse.
And then, when you're done, then what?
And then the documentary, The Pez Bandit. You have to see that one.
You're not going to
Pez Bandit.
It's an old hillbilly with a beard down to here.
Somebody stole my Pez.
Who was bringing in like millions of dollars worth of Pez dispensers, selling them on the black market.
Wait a minute. Millions of dollars. How many Pez dispensers do you have to be worth millions of dollars?
2 million.
What's a Pez dispenser?
He has
40
cents?
cents?
One Pez dispenser called the Bubble Man that sell for $11,000 each to collectors.
Wow.
Who would pay $11,000 for a Pez dispenser?
Somebody really likes Pez.
And apparently
somebody
they show
really
you
high who likes candy.
I know, right?
Let me tell you something. They show you in this documentary about 25 collectors that have rooms and rooms and rooms of Pez dispensers that they spend $800,000.
This is the kind of shit that pisses me off. There's like such disparity in wealth in this fucking world. It's like there were people starving in the streets, and there's guys who have fucking rooms full of $11,000 Pez dispensers. I mean,
I know. Who would ever think there was a market for that?
And who thought of a Pez? Hey, I got an idea. Let's put like a famous cartoon head on top of this little plastic stick. We'll put some brick candy in it, and when you pull back the head, the brick will come out.
Yeah, who the fuck invented that?
That's very rudimentary.
That was somebody who was high on drugs, man. All right, I'm going to pop its head back and some candy's going to. I'm going to eat the candy out of its neck.
So the way it works is that Pez was invented in Austria, and then Pez
you know
US,
a little too much about Pez.
Really, he knows he loved Pez.
I watched the documentary, and then he and the guy who's in charge is called the President.
Do you know where Pez comes from?
I'm serious. What? Austria.
Pez is it's a German word. It comes from a German word.
That's what he has on his desk, the President.
No, Pez comes from a German word that means peppermint.
But they weren't peppermint.
I didn't say they were sane. That's what they
So there's a Pez dispenser that's like the Holy Grail. It's Zorro. And instead of on the side it's saying Pez, it says Zorro. The only one ever made that didn't have the Pez logo on
Zorro.
it.
Oh my god!
And that gets anywhere between 8 and 13.
See, now that's it. From now on, like I always fantasized that if I built a time machine, I would go back and say kill Hitler or stop Lincoln from getting assassinated. But no, I'm number one on my list now is if I can go back in time, I'm picking up fucking Pez dispensers.
Right.
No, I'm gonna kill the bandit. And the guy looks so crazy. I seriously, he's got a white beard like ZZ Top.
Does it have to be?
And he says we got to hear this. When he goes through customs, he goes, "I just act really crazy," and they open up my bag and they dump out thousands of Pez dispensers. And I go, "I just really like Pez." Yeah. And they let him go through every time.
And he's got thousands of Pez dispensers, but he has to act crazy.
I just really like Pez. That's what he says.
Just really like Pez.
Yeah.
This is my wife.
And then does the guy look crazy or anything like that?
Yeah, he said he's got like a ZZ Top beard and
no,
he's like a hillbilly.
Really?
But anyway, he's rich now,
and he's the president.
No. The peasant.
You didn't hear
he's
John
the
say,
president.
That's
you
what
didn't hear
John
me say that
before.
That's what they actually call.
It's funny when John said it.
When the CEOs of both America and Europe, on their desk it says the president.
That's fucking hilarious.
I love it. And people are fighting about M&Ms these days. What's the bullshit with the M&Ms now?
Not now. Only Tucker Carlson. I think they took his love away. The one that he liked, the M&M peanut.
The chick M&M. That's your idea of sexy. That's what you want to bang, an M&M.
Well,
I mean,
look at
he's got a problem
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. Well, the guy's got a fucking mind of a relaxed iguana.
Okay. Speaking of relaxed iguanas, do you know that in Florida when it gets to like 50 degrees or 45 degrees, it starts raining iguanas?
Yeah, because they get cold and they live in the trees. I see them when I go visit my mother. I see these; they are gorgeous. Those green ones with they're beautiful. But yeah, when it gets below a certain temperature, they got no energy. They fall out of the trees
because they're cold blooded. They're cold blooded.
They're cold blooded, man. That was nasty. That was cold of you, Mr. Iguana. You are a cold blooded iguana.
A lot of trees.
Craig's in a musical.
I am. I'm making. Yeah.
I'm trying to write a song. My song is 99 spy balloons flying over my living room. That one's what is it? Where are they from? Russia or China?
They're in Canada. They're in Canada, China too. They're
What was anyone worried about a balloon? It's like, come on, there's satellites. You're worried about a friggin'
Another
balloon?
verse.
Huh?
Could not think of another verse. What do I do about my internet, guys?
You level up. You get the no, actually it's probably where you live, right? It's just you said
You
there.
need to you live near NASA. Connect to like a satellite or something.
Yeah, hack into
They're
into
working on.
NASA's
They're
secret.
putting in all new telephone poles, and since they started doing that, it glitches out. I listened to like radio on Spotify, like all of a sudden the song just stops playing for a second, and then comes back on.
Wow.
That's called a dramatic pause. That's supposed to be in there.
So I don't know.
I don't know. It's your area. You know, they need to fix it. Now are your cables underground?
But do I call AT&T and tell them, or
I do. Like when I was having that problem with here it's Spectrum, which I love. Nothing I love better than watching TV. There's a commercial on telling me how great Spectrum is as it's freezing and pixelating, and But I call them when I'm having a problem. I call them up. They send people out and.
Well, they charge. Spectrum charges an arm and a leg. That's why.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but I'm talking to the guy and he tells me, he goes, "Well, here, just between us, our equipment is crap. You should go out." I went out and spent $800 on a nesting system. I got the Orbi Nest, and it's still basically the same friggin'. That's why I'm plugged in, hardwired, and it's still whatever.
You
I'm
guys
plugged in, hardwired, it's still freezing up.
You guys didn't mention the elephant in the room.
Well, we didn't want to mention it, Craig, but
yeah, I'm insulted that you didn't mention me. But anyway,
what elephant in the room?
What elephant in the room?
About sponsorship?
Oh, that's right. Yes, we picked up a new sponsor.
Yep,
John.
I forgot.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get a sponsor for like the last 3 years, and everything is kind of fallen through.
We've turned most of them down
because
we've been waiting for a product.
backpacks.
We've been waiting for a product that really reflected us. I mean,
and this one really does reflect us.
We were supposed to get those $600 backpacks.
Yeah,
I never got those.
And
yeah, but this one really
maybe we didn't get the backpacks because when we found out the price and on the air, we went, "You get that same thing at Walmart for $12."
Yeah, no shit. But we've been turning down sponsors because we've been waiting for something that really reflected the essence of the show.
This really does nail us.
We found the perfect thing. So why don't let's run our sponsor's commercial.
Very good. Here it is.
We are always embarrassed when we want to fart in a crowded place. So I invented this fart aroma muffler. The design is very human. We only need to add fragrance to the machine, then put the lid on. After we put it on, our farts will be fragrant, and also can reduce the sound of farts. Very easy to use.
And where can we pick up the fart of? That looked like coffee was putting in there.
How much would you expect to pay for a great $149.95?
It also works for
You ever want to make coffee with your ass? You ever want to make coffee with your ass? Just use that.
So I'm wondering,
the guy's face is so serious when he's doing that.
What do you preload it with? Cinnamon?
He put cinnamon in there.
Yes, it was either cinnamon or what's that other nutmeg?
I wanna
maybe it was nutmeg.
A cinnamon girl.
The only problem with that is
the rest of my
life you can't sit down.
Cinnamon, but
you can't sit down.
You can't sit down.
Well, you can if you have the magic.
You can if you're the pole vault guy.
You can. Right. You can if you have a stool. There you go. It's like John's stool in reverse. People who are uninitiated are going to really wonder what we're talking about when we say John's stool.
The level of the show has really gone places.
Well, we're not.
It's really good.
I think it's a great thing.
I can tell you more about Pez.
No, it's okay. So, let me tell you this though. I had somebody in my car this week. I drive rideshare and I'm proud of it. And this person was a casting director. She told me but I'm not going to share it. But she was a big casting director, and you're an actor, but that kind of shit when you drive.
Yeah. Send me your headshot. I've had.
Yeah, no, she didn't say that actually, but I go, yeah, I'm not getting called in a lot right now, and she goes, yeah, you're the wrong age and the wrong sex and the wrong color. I go, what? Yeah, right now they want diversity. They don't want white men.
That's all a crock of shit, though, because you need every kind of character you need. there are white actors your age, our age, working, doing something.
Well, you would think, right? But that's what she said.
Even if it's just part of a biracial commercial.
Every commercial is biracial, man.
No, it is. It's like Hollywood is so
every
full
commercial
of shit.
has.
It's either there's either a gay couple or a
black
mixed race
person.
couple, and it's like, okay, listen, yes, these things exist, and we should be inclusive and whatever.
Absolutely.
But stop making every fucking commercial like that. It's like, stop shoving bullshit down our throats.
I saw the diversity commercial Yahtzee. It was an Asian man with an Indian woman, and they had an African American child.
Wait,
that's Yahtzee.
No, fuck you. No midgets. No midgets? No, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, you uninclusive son of a bitch.
Mike, you can't say midgets. You have to say little people.
Yeah, little midgets.
Vertically challenged.
Little midgets.
Oh, vertically challenged.
Vertically challenged.
That pole vaulter was vertically challenged.
Yeah, his colon is now.
Yeah, they call him stretch. They call him stretch for a couple of reasons.
Look, man, he's ready for his colonoscopy. He's cleaned out now. He doesn't have to worry about polyps. They're all cleaned
the doctor
out.
doesn't even need any equipment. Yeah, just bend over. Yeah, you're clear.
You just fucking reach. You could just reach up in there, and go.
Do you guys realize that I've frozen up at least 30 times already?
Yes, we do.
This seems like an average show to us.
Oh,
I never.
I'm just kidding, John.
You've never been funnier, John.
I never freeze up.
Oh no, actually, I you know what it did? See, I see it because you're glitching for like a second or two, and then you're back and whatever. But
John's in the Matrix.
It hasn't been enough to.
Why?
Something's wrong with your.
Just as long as the people know it's not on our side, it's the people of Florida. It's Florida. It's the bottom line. It's Florida.
It's Florida.
Florida. I'll be visiting you. I'll be visiting you.
What's new in Florida news? Florida news. There was a college, Christian college, and they hired this this a cappella group that had 2 gay guys in it, as most a cappella groups do. Mm-hmm. No, and then, anyway, they were. What? I was kidding. I want to see your reaction. So anyway, I just threw that in. I was hoping I wouldn't freeze. So anyway, so they hired this a cappella group, and 2 guys were gay. And it was Christian school, and Ron DeSantis, right before the show, told them they were not allowed to go on because it was against Christian values.
Now, okay. Were they singing about gay stuff?
Nope.
At least he respects church and state, the separation thereof.
It's just incredible. You know what? He's just going to be.
He's a Nazi. I mean, he is like a Nazi.
Yeah, you know what? It's all bullshit. It's like
you can't say that, John. You have to say German-oriented American.
Yeah, no, he's just Jewish challenged.
Jewish challenged.
I mean,
he's outlawing bagels next.
Anyway,
I'll tell you, this was his week. First, he tried to say that if you're a female and you're going to play any sport in Florida, like either from high school or college, you have to register your menstrual cycle.
What?
Yeah.
So that he can prove that you're actually a woman. And he got voted down. So now he passed, though. You have to show your legitimate birth certificate.
What does he have against bicycle riders?
I'm sorry, but this guy needs his head smashed.
The next thing he wants to do is, he still has the book ban in all the schools until he can get somebody in there to vet them.
He actually banned the biography of Roberto Clemente.
Why was that?
Because it celebrates Cuban Americans.
Wow.
And he also banned a book called The Happy Worms.
The Happy Hooker. Yeah, I can see him.
This is a kid's book about
worms.
2 worms that meet each other.
Isn't it caterpillar?
The other one, no, it's worms.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he says, I really like you. And he says, yeah, I really like you. Maybe we should get married. And the ladybug goes, well, I hang out in the flowers. I can bring beautiful flowers. And the spider goes, I can build you a beautiful church out of my web. And it goes on like that. And then the firefly goes, I can give you lighting effects with my fire. And then the one worm says to the other one, I could be the bride. The other one goes, I could be the groom. And then the one goes, I could be the bride and you could be the groom. because worms are hermaphrodites.
They're asexual. They're both.
So he banned the book.
The world we live in today.
And
is
now
just
his new
ridiculous.
thing this week is that he wants to make.
This is all just bullshit. It's just fucking shiny. It's just shiny objects in front of stupid people to divert them from what's really going on. Because who gives a fuck? Listen, there is no kid in the world who reads a book about worms and goes, I think I'm going to turn gay because the worms are gay, or this, and it's this.
Well, that's
ridiculous.
That's what got me. I tried to hook, to put a worm on a hook when I was fishing, and I went, I'm gay. I was done.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't the priest that molested me. It was the fucking worms that made me gay.
Oh my God. And you want to ban the thing you want to bleep the thing in the front.
Okay, you talk about beating hooks. Not to change them. When my son was like 4 years old, I took him fishing, right? And he goes, I want to bait my own hook. So we use these little minnows. So he takes the minnow, puts the hook right through the minnow, right into his finger.
Ooh.
And I see his eyes like well up with tears. And I go, what's the matter? He goes, and he's like 4. And I go, hey, did you stick yourself in the hook? And he goes, yeah. And I go, wow, that's really good luck. I go, if you stick yourself in the hook, I go, you're going to be very lucky. You'll get some fish. I'm thinking, let there be a God. So he takes the fish, he throws it in. The thing hits the water, and he catches a fish.
I got a question. I got a question to your son now. You believe that shit?
This is really funny. So no, this is even funny. So we get the fish off. He's like 4.
Right.
We take the fish off the hook. He takes another one. He puts the hook right into his finger again.
On purpose this time.
No, his eyes fill up with tears, and I go, are you all right? And he looks at me and goes, I think it's my lucky day. I mean, that is like the best father story ever.
Oh my God. You're like the dad who, like, these days now they film while the kid's like about to fall to his death. You like let him do it the second time,
I showed him how to do it, but it was just so funny. I think it's my lucky day.
My dad used to take me to the Jones Beach docks. I get 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning in the summer to go fishing, and he'd have this like really expensive fishing pole with the tackle box. And he got me the pocket.
Right.
Do you remember the pocket fisherman?
Yes, Ron Popeil.
He got me the pocket fisherman. But the thing is, I was catching freaking fish like 8. And I was like, boom. But it was like a cartoon. I was just catching all these fish. And the reason why is it comes with this little hook.
Yeah.
And so the fish were swallowing the hook. And so finally my dad, the hook was so far down that he actually had to cut the hook off for the fish. And then he threw the fish back in. I'm thinking, that fish is dead. He has a hook like that anyway.
Well,
and then he put a regular size hook on my thing, and it stopped working.
That
was
because fish always recognize hookers.
With the Popeil pocket fisherman,
I love that.
It also came with a little thing called stink bait.
Did it?
Yeah.
And so
I had one for my grandson not too long ago. It's I don't know if it's an actual Ron Popeil one, but it was one I bought. It's a mini little. They still make the same exact type of thing. I don't know if it's the same one.
It had a compartment in it where you could put tackle and stuff in it. It was great.
Yeah.
Well, we took the stink bait, and I was with Chris Rush, and we were working at the Southampton Comedy Club.
Chris Rush,
and there was a lake. There was a lake across, and I opened it up and I go, "Oh my God!" He goes, "Stink bait, just throw it in the water." So I throw it in the water. Right. And all of a sudden, the bobber on my thing goes like this in slow motion underwater. And it goes,
might as well do it. He's frozen.
And we'll never know.
Chris is going, it's Jimmy Hoffa. So we start reeling it in. Now it's like getting dark because we got to get to the show. We're underneath a street light, and all of a sudden these 2 big claws come out of the water.
Madonna?
And his face, and they were like the size of my hand. He goes, and it's foggy, and I go, "Oh my God, what is it?" And Chris goes, "It's a snapping turtle."
Really?
And I go, "We got to get the hook out of it." He goes,
"You got to take you should have taken a picture of that still with John there like this."
The face you were frozen in was friggin'
He goes
perfect.
like this. He goes, get the hook out. He goes, you put an oar in that thing's mouth, it'll snap it off.
Holy
So
shit.
we walk it over to the beach, right? It takes forever for this big turtle to get to the beach. And I get him up on the land, and Chris is laughing. He's going, what are you going to do now? And I go, I don't know, but I can't leave the hook in his mouth. All of a sudden, the turtle just goes like this and just goes back into the water again.
When I was a kid, we used to go fishing in this lake in New Jersey, and it was full of there's little sunny fish, and there was the snapping turtle, this huge, I don't know if it was a snap, whatever it was, but it was huge. And he had been caught so many, he had hooks. Well, I was afraid to catch him. I wanted to though, catch him to get because he must have had 20 hooks in his mouth.
Yeah, it was like a punk. Off. He was a punk rock turtle.
He was a punk rock turtle, but I always felt bad for that.
He was
do you know how that snapping? You know how Chris Rush, he knows everything about everything. So he goes, you know how a snapping turtle fishes? And I go, no.
You got a lure inside
on the bottom. So they have like big pointed beak.
Yeah.
He goes, they lay on the ground, they open their mouth, and they move their tongue in the water. It looks like a fish.
Yeah. And as soon as something comes near it, it snaps so quick that it just snaps a fish right up.
Interesting. That's how I attract. That's how I attract men.
Oh no! I thought you leave a trail of sandwiches.
That too. But I was going to say we have a meeting for this show every Monday, and this past Monday during our meeting we brought up Chris Rush for the first time in maybe ever.
Chris Rush has passed on, so anyone who doesn't know who Chris Rush was, he was a comedian. He was a genius.
Brilliant.
He was one of the funniest guys. He was a writer for Carlin, George Carlin. He was just an amazing, funny man.
Okay, and the thing is, when we brought him up, what we didn't know at the time, Monday was his birthday.
Really?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't get a Facebook.
So he must have been channeling through John, because I think John brought him up.
Maybe.
He was a good guy, man. He was I used to call him the professor of comedy.
Yeah.
It was almost like a lecture.
He wrote for Carlin.
You know what I mean?
That's fucking insane.
He used to call me his little pirate buddy.
His little what?
Pirate. I was his pirate buddy.
He's like he used to write for George Carlin. I mean that's insane.
Yeah.
But he was like
when I met George Carlin said to me, "You from Long Island?" I go, he goes, my buddy Chris Rush? I go, yeah. He goes, he's still telling people that he writes my stuff? And I go, yeah. And he goes, well, he does.
He does.
He goes, he writes a lot of it.
You know what George Carlin said to me when I met him? Just take the money. Just don't hurt me.
Yeah.
But if you want to get an idea of what Chris Rush looked like, I mean, you can also you can Google.
Speaking of turtles,
but but if you want to see what he looks like, look at the actor right now, Michael Chiklis. That's exactly.
Look up Chris Rush.
That might be easier. That might be easier. I just want to put a plug in for Michael Chiklis. Nobody talks about him anymore.
Did we have a topic that we were going to talk about today? Because I know that we just get on these tangents and we never actually talk about.
I tried to steer it there, but we kind of veered off again. So
well, where were you steering it?
No, I mean one of the things we talked about in the meeting was the fact that
political correctness in casting.
Yeah, not only that, but overall. And my question was going to be, is it us or is it really out of control? I mean, is it us because we're old from a different generation, or is it out of control? I think it's out of control on both sides.
I think it's out of control too.
I think it's out of control too, because it's sort of like, aren't you supposed to? Isn't it like?
It's just like that, John.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Dustin Hoffman was playing the Marathon Man.
Yeah.
And he didn't sleep for like 18 days. And he walked on the set. And what's his name? Who was the other actor?
Well, that's called method acting.
Lawrence Olivier.
That's called method acting.
Yeah, Laurence Olivier said, "Oh my God, you look like hell." And he said, "Well, I haven't slept in 18 days. I want to play the part the way it's supposed to be." He goes, "Why don't you just try acting?"
Yeah, why don't you just act?
But I mean, isn't that the same thing? It's like, I don't know.
Well, these days now, if you're, if you have Native Americans in your thing, you've got to have Native. It's like bullshit. It's like, okay, yes, I know in the old days they'd get these famous actors. I've seen some top level actors from the 50s and 60s, and they would just put red makeup on them and they'd play natives.
I think it was
If
originally.
you have to put colored makeup on, like red makeup, or you're going to go in blackface, then I think you should really get somebody who that might be the exception of what we're talking about. If you have,
But I think that this was originally done because there weren't
a lot of Native actors. There was 3 or 4 famous ones. There was the big guy.
I think it was originally done so not to take parts away from people like that.
Right.
Whether they were gay, whether they were black, whether they were Native Americans.
Yeah, today if you're going to play a Jewish guy, they want to check your circumcision scars. All right, let's see.
It's out of control now. Like Eric Stone Street won a couple of Emmys on Modern Family for playing Cameron, who was openly gay, but he's a straight actor. Right. His partner, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, was really gay.
The big guy, right?
And now they're saying he couldn't do that now because he's not gay. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This is bullshit.
You don't have to be gay to play gay.
You know what?
Does that mean I can never play a straight guy?
The problem with, and always has been with Hollywood, it's called show business. And what you got these little punks that graduate business school and they know nothing about art, they know nothing about whatever, and they come in and they're like, "Oh, we got it."
I
mean, my daughter wrote a play, and it was called The Magic Man, and it was about a black kid. No, it's about a black kid whose brother gets killed in a drive-by, and he's in his room. We got to
cast a magician. We have to cast a.
No. Listen, no. He's in his room, and he sees this imaginary friend who does magic for him, right? And there's probably no white people in the show. It's all takes place. So she got all the guys from The Wire. Remember that TV show, The Wire?
Yeah.
And they all did the reading and everything. And so there was all these people there, like TV people, and there to see the reading of the show. And my daughter said the reading was going amazing. And this one black woman that they hired.
Great. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
This is bullshit. Why should any white girl be writing about black people? This is just ridiculous. And she said, really? The guy from The Wire said, "This is ridiculous." He goes, you complain that there's not enough parts for black people. This is a show with all black people, and you're going to complain about that. And she said it just became a big fight in front of everyone that was looking to buy the show.
Yeah. How about shutting the fuck up? Yeah. So there you go. You cost a lot of people a job because you're a fucking idiot. So in other words, I have to be black to write a black show. It's like, please just shut the fuck up. I mean,
what do you know about living in the ghetto? You're a white girl. And
first of all, I know all about growing up in the ghetto because I grew up in the ghetto and I'm white. And so I can write a show about the ghetto and whatever. It's like,
oh, my daughter does it, when she writes. I mean, there is hundreds of hours of research that goes in. Plus she knows down and put pen to paper and go, oh, okay, this is what it must be like.
I know all about the ghetto. I heard the Elvis song in the ghetto.
Right.
I firmly believe that the everybody, the extreme right, and rightfully so, gets hammered, and it should. But I think the extreme left has some severe issues too, and needs to be called to task.
But here's the thing: is that the extreme left at least admits that there are crazy morons, idiots, douchebags that have these insane ideas. On the right, you don't have nobody calling them out. They don't go, that's a little nuts. Jewish space lasers. There's Jewish space forest flyers. Who's coming out against this fucking Marjorie Taylor moron douche?
Marjorie Taylor moron. But Mike, nobody on the left is saying, aren't we going a little bit too far with the diversity and who can play what and who can do what and what you can say?
How would you know if they are, though? There probably are people. And if they aren't, they're afraid
they get shut down and they get canceled if they bring it up. I'm not afraid to do it because I got nothing going on.
Well, I think there's a big backlash against all of this shit, all this political correctness and all this bullshit. It's like even on the left, it's like we're all tired of this politically correct bullshit.
No, it's like we all. I don't think we all are.
I think we are. They're just afraid to say. There are people afraid to come out and say it, but they're tired of it.
You mentioned it before. The younger people. I mean, the CEO, the people who are in entertainment, who are in advertising, who are in their late 20s and 30s. I think they're way too far over the line. And I think we need.
They
to
are because they rely on stupid. Like they'll take some friggin' survey or some whatever, and they'll go, asking the stupidest friggin' people, like on so let's have a survey on Facebook. Do you think there's enough, whatever on in the and they get so then they gotta hire whatever because the survey told them that was what to do.
I mean, I told that casting director when I don't usually volunteer this because it's not a big deal. She goes, "Oh yeah, there's not really a big call for people your age who are white," and I go, "I'm gay." She goes, "Yeah, that's not good enough. I mean, you got to be trans, you got to be gender non-specific, you got to this," and I'm like, "Not good enough? What the fuck does that mean?"
You should have said, "I identify as a young trans."
I'm not going to say
You
any
should
of
have
that
said you
shit.
identify as a pineapple.
I identify.
Well, I am fruity,
I identify as a pineapple.
and I live under the sea.
You know what? It's we live in ridiculous times.
I know you don't really love that Sebastian Maniscalco,
Who?
but he
Who's
does
that?
this thing. Mike doesn't think he's great, but
He's okay.
there's a new special out where he talks about taking his kid to school, and he's bringing the kid to school, and all of a sudden there's a kid in the back dressed as a lion, and the teacher goes, "That's Brett. He identifies himself as a lion."
Yeah.
And he's going, "Well, what do you do? Feed him raw meat?" Out? And he goes, "My kid can't learn because there's a kid in his class that thinks he's a lion." Yeah. It's like, it's
if I
really
identify
funny,
myself,
but it's so true.
I identify myself as a kid who kicks the shit out of other kids who don't identify as a normal fucking kid. That's what I identify as that, so you got to accept it.
I saw on TikTok there was this. I don't know who she was. I really don't know why she was even on it, but they were
TikTok?
asking her,
"What are you doing on that Chinese app?"
Oh, I'm always on it. They because with 6 you get egg roll. No, they ask her, "How many genders are there?" 2. Because you really think there's only 2 genders? She goes, "Yeah, male or female." Because what if you're transgender? That's fine. No, that's fine. That's cool. That's valid. But there's 2. You're either male or female. And the
that's
guy,
the truth. Because even if you're a transgender,
the guy went, "No, there's over 100 different genders." And she went, No, there's not. There's 2.
Yeah, there are only 2. Because if you're a transgender, then you've transitioned into another gender, and you are that gender.
No, but there are people who are they listed over 100 different genders.
Yeah, and those people need to be taken out in the back.
And, well, how about I saw a video of this Congress investigation of this woman who was transgender, who was a doctor.
Oh, then he asked her if she's got a penis. You got a penis? Why? You want to see it?
That's totally friggin' wrong, man.
Yeah, it is wrong.
She said, "I'm a doctor, and I expect you to address me like that." He goes, "So then you don't want to answer any more questions?"
Yeah.
And she said, "I want to answer more questions, but I'm not going to answer that." And he goes, "All right, well, I'll ask you another question. Do you have a penis?" And she was horrified.
You can be transgender and have a penis if you're in transit, because trans means transition.
Listen, this all started because
I bought those transition sunglasses. Every time it gets sunny, a penis comes out on them.
That's it.
No, come on.
But how do they identify?
They identify sunglasses.
This is the show where we get canceled officially.
Listen, I get it. This all started because there were a lot of homophobic people, and they were beating up and killing gay people. Now that needs to stop, and you need to treat every human being with respect and whatever. But it's like it's just ridiculous. It's like you can't just go crazy for it's like, I identify as a rooster. It's please just get the fuck. You're a fucking nut. That's what we used to call them in the old days. You're a fucking nut.
Look, I just think that this younger generation and this embracing of diversity has gotten out of control.
It's so funny because years ago,
that's what I call my penis. Now.
Years ago,
I call it diversity, so everyone can embrace it.
I mean, we used to say, and it was perfectly acceptable. You go, yeah, the guy's Oriental or something. Now that's
you have
like
to say Asian because there's
Asian,
no such thing
because
as the
Oriental.
Oriental
means like you can go, I got an Oriental rug. It means, it's an object
from the Orient.
From the Orient. But you can't say that about a person.
Meanwhile,
I said to my daughter once, this is years ago, I said something about, work this Oriental guy is really funny. And it's probably 10 years ago. My daughter goes, "Oh my God, you can't say that. You have to say Asian. You can't use that word anymore." And I was thinking, when I was a kid, my neighbor would go, "Hey, I'm going out for chinks. Anybody want any?"
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that was like, come on, you guys are from New York. You never
I
heard that
actually gasped.
expression?
I gasped.
Everyone's heard that, and they're not going to say, "Oh, I never said that," because fuck, cancel whatever. This
Friday night I was driving. I picked up this young man, this young African American man, really nice. I go, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey man, what's going on? How you doing?" We had a nice conversation. Then he got on his phone to, I guess, I'm assuming, to somebody who is also the same ethnicity as him. I don't know for sure. But he said the N-word about 6 million times as he was talking. I mean, it was to the point where I actually was looking around wondering if I was being punked.
Well, see, but that's totally acceptable. It's like if you're black, you can say the N-word. If you're white, you can't.
Because they don't say ER, they say NA.
Yeah, I mean, it's a term of endearment. Like, it's not like it's means, the truth is like, I have respect. I won't say that word because I have respect that it hurts people's feelings. It's just like being Jewish. When people say certain things,
on the gay side, you can't say the F word anymore. You can't, I'll say it. You can't say fag or faggot. And
can we still call you fruit?
That's fine. But as a gay man, I even had a joke on my act where I said, when I was growing up, fag or faggot didn't mean gay.
Never. It meant uncool.
No, it meant uncoordinated, not good at sports. The Jets.
Exactly.
That's what it meant. Sorry about that, John.
Exactly. I remember when we were kids, we'd say that, and it didn't mean anything about sexuality. It just meant you were fucking weird.
Exactly.
And also, when you were a kid, you would say, "Oh, that guy's so queer." It never meant he was gay.
No, I used to think that meant gay, personally.
No. It just meant he was weird.
The only time I'd ever say that to somebody was when they were blowing me. I'd be like, "What are you, queer? Come on, stop over here. You must be queer. What are you doing blowing me?"
Oh my God, Mike! Stop! You're putting fantasies in my head.
Better take them out, buddy.
Take them out. You can get them where they belong.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things we said back then that didn't mean anything. They used to they used to call me like, they go, "Hey, you're a wop, you're a guinea, you're a guinea." You know what I mean?
You say that because you're Italian.
How many times I got called a kike and you name whatever? It's like, and listen, just looking the way I look, nobody ever expects me to be Jewish. So I used to hear all this stuff. If it wasn't for the fucking Jews, they own everything. All of this derogatory shit. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? Just because you're a lazy piece of shit and you don't want to work for money yourself, don't put down people who are willing to work hard and fucking earn it.
Right. It's like when people call me moron.
Yeah. You've earned the title. No.
Exactly. I'm a wait, no.
No, my friend Sandy Neuschatz, who I went to school with, is really brilliant. He's a doctor. He's a doctor. And his thesis was on that there's not as many Jewish people in the world as people think. It's just that they're in higher positions, like doctors, lawyers, and politics, which gives the appearance that there's more Jewish people than there actually is.
There's literally like 2.3% of the American population is Jewish, I think.
And you know what? You know the reason why they're in those positions? Because it was important to their parents to make sure they would sacrifice, to send them to law school, to send them to med school, all of that stuff. It's like, while other children were doing whatever, it's like
the Rothschilds.
Listen, my grandfather was I remember during the Depression, he got offered a job. So I forget where, but it was some big company. And he went down and he filled in an application. When they found out he was Jewish, they had a policy. They would not hire Jews. They didn't hire Jews. And so that's why Jews couldn't find jobs. And that's why they started their own businesses. They started studying. You tell me, did that ever happen to Italians, Irish? Nobody ever. It
happened to Italians. It happened to
Irish. Definitely happened to Irish.
Yeah.
Where
but it's funny. My dad was the youngest in his family. And people would go to, well, your mother and father were from Italy. You don't speak Italian? And my father would always say, we were forbidden to speak Italian in the house because my father would say, we're an American now. You have to speak English.
And that's the thing, is people were proud to be American.
Right.
Yeah. And the Irish people, when they came across through Ellis Island, were treated like shit originally in New York.
Well,
I mean, watch Gangs of New York.
So they moved to Boston and became the mob.
When the Italians came, that's traditionally, you're right. The only thing they could get job was labor,
They were the bottom of the
Irish,
totem pole.
but that is every new group that would, at least New York, every new group that would come in got treated like shit until they worked their way up and in. That's the way it was,
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
but I mean, the whole thing I was just saying about my father, which I think is so interesting, is where you have people now that want to, like in a Hispanic area, they want the road signs changed to Spanish. They want the street signs
and
turned
the subway.
to Spanish.
That's all bullshit. No, you should learn English. That's the
I always point out Paris. People say, "Oh, you should really speak our language." I'm like, go to Paris, France.
Yeah,
everybody speaks English, or most of the people speak English, and most of the signs are in French and in English.
Well, it's also too. Americans are probably the only country that we only speak one language.
God bless you. But it's also because they depend on tourism from English-speaking countries, like from America, from the United States.
So does New York. So does Miami. So does Chicago.
No, we don't depend on tourism from countries that don't. We don't depend on that don't speak English.
Anybody from out of this country, Japan, France, So
you're saying we should have signs in every language?
Not every language, but I mean, in Southern California, you definitely have Spanish and English. Definitely. What's wrong with that?
Well, it depends.
Plus, it would help me learn Spanish. It would.
Well, come on, man. La Cienega. You didn't. When you first moved here, I thought it was La Canada. Where's La Canada?
What I used to call it, La Cienega. What I used to call it,
Wanga.
No, Sepulveda. Sepulveda. Sepulveda.
I gotta take a left on Sepulveda. Go down to
So, John, just to let you know, we have about 3 minutes left. But when you end the show today, I'm going to take a still picture when you were frozen like this, and you're going to talk over it. I think that's hilarious. I'm going to do it.
Doing my impression of the
man in the box,
snapping turtle.
The man in the box.
Well,
picture.
This has been an informative show.
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to title the show right now. It's going to say, "Please don't cancel us." That's going to be the title of the show.
I think this is a really good show.
Yeah.
Well, we were honest. We talk about, we're not.
That's what I'm going to be. I don't. It's cancel this, cancel. I'm going to talk about. I got a fucking opinion. I'm entitled. Now that doesn't mean that you should put out hate. People are fucking using that to put out hate, and that's wrong. You shouldn't be putting out hate.
And if you're going to get canceled, it would happen like right away. And
there you go. See that? But Craig
to him now.
Craig has been canceled.
No hate. No hate. No hate.
Listen, I don't have friggin' hatred towards anybody. It's like I don't have tolerance or patience for stupid people.
Except for Marjorie Taylor, moron.
Well, like I said, she's an idiot. That's why I don't have patience for morons. And they're dangerous morons because the stuff they spew is gets people hurt and gets people killed. And they don't even and they're all about money. They don't give a shit. Like, it's like you think that her and Boebert and all you think they got into politics to be servants to the people? No, it's to line their pockets. They're doing this shit to line their pockets.
Every politician does. I'm going to be honest.
No, it's the truth on both sides. Yes, they do. Most of them do.
They all do.
It used to be about
special interest groups.
It's the greatest scam on earth. I wish I would have went into politics.
And that's what Ron DeSantis is doing right now. He's angling to be president because you know what? That's the most powerful you can be. Yes. It's about power. It's about money. Yeah. It's about influence. It's about legacy. It's about. It's not about helping people.
But at least in the old days, they would put the good of the people above insanity. There was some decorum. There was something. There was morals.
Not anymore.
I had explained to my kids, right? My kids that are like 34 and 30, that when I was growing up, Republicans and Democrats hated each other during the election year, and they were at each other's throats. And this guy's an idiot, and this guy's guy, blah blah blah. And then whoever became elected, whether it was Republican or Democrat, everybody was together for the next 4 years for the benefit of the country.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, yeah, it's totally true. Not like it is today.
Watch a rerun of All in the Family.
Well,
what does that have to do? We're not talking about. We're talking
because
about
you have Archie, who was all about Nixon, defending him even when he was under fire, and of course you had Meathead, who was the liberal side.
Yeah, but even Nixon had the balls to resign.
No,
that's different.
To resign because
he knew. I'm talking about the
Nixon resigned because there was enough Republicans that still had morals that would have thrown him out. Today, like you said, Trump didn't leave because the Senate would have never, that they didn't, approve knocking him out.
We're going overtime on this. Trump this week actually was caught on tape saying that when he's reelected, he wants to try to bring back televised executions.
Yeah,
he means by hanging, by firing squad, by guillotine.
And I hope, and I hope
he's also saying that he's going to release.
First.
30 years ago, just saying that, you'd be gone.
Yeah.
I think about that guy. Was his name John? What Dean? Was that Howard Dean? He screamed and he was done.
Yeah.
He went, yeah, and they canceled him.
It's just amazing.
Executions, and he's like, yeah, what do we want?
Well, that's how far we've come. We've come into the most and the truth is, it's the information age. It's the internet. It's all this stuff where you can put out. I can have a show putting out stuff I'm calling facts, and there are going to be people who believe any crap that I say, and that's what Trump and all these people are. And I'm not saying it's just the right; it's the left too.
And the left
come out.
Man.
The left, they do. They're not as obvious, but they'll sneak all kinds of stuff in and call it facts. And when it's just like innuendo, whatever, and it's this, they're all just corrupt and it's all bullshit. Matter of fact, we should just take over ourselves. We should run the government.
No, the grand illusion is that we're in control, and we're not.
No.
Well, and George Collins did that 30 years ago.
On that end, we are in control, and we need to end this show.
It's not government for the people, by the people, with the people. Who are the people? I'm the people.
Who the fuck are the, and Rudolph. I don't know why I said that.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
They said they were going to cancel him back in the McCarthy days. The red nose. Yeah.
Well, there's still people to this day that don't like that because they say he was bullied.
Dude, he's total bullshit.
Come on, man. No, wait a minute.
They used him because he could benefit them. They hated him.
They didn't let him play in any reindeer games. That's why Rudolph got a knife. Come here.
Basically,
what do you mean I can't play the games?
A lot of my gay friends think it's all about being openly gay, and they find out he's gay and they shun him, and then all of a sudden they need something decorated, and now he's back. Need something decorated.
I can't even conceive of that. I will end with being a snapping turtle.
We're all snapping turtles.
All right. So
oh, now he's not only freezing, he's echoing.
I don't know why I echoed. All right, so that's our show.
Hey,
let's have a round of applause for Craig Mitchell.
Hello, thank you.
Brief. I'm John Ferrantino. And so don't forget, you can catch us everywhere. You can catch us on Strong Island TV. We're alive on Friday nights at 10 p.m. You can catch us on Roku. You can catch us on the Fire Stick. You can catch us on Facebook, Spotify. You can even catch us.
We're not on Spotify anymore, but thank you.
Okay, you catch us on YouTube.
You can't catch us on Spotify no more.
Not anymore. And buy a His Sense TV. Buy one.
Hisense. Buy one. We're going to be hardwired onto the Hisense TV.
Hardwired on the His Sense. Thank you if you're watching.
I have incense.
Incense?
Yeah, sense.
I'm incensed by that.
I'm His Sense.
All right, let's get going.
We're out of here.
Next week.
We're out of here. You guys bore me.